Hello everyone, and in this video it's part 2 and we're going to be continuing the creation of our keypad. So in the last video we created this keypad, we created this trigger stand, and we've also got it so that when we hit play, press the escape key, we should be able to enter in buttons into the keypad. Okay. Now we need to add the logic, and we need to add one more thing here. I want to create a new camera, so I'm going to go to camera, and I'm going to call this cutscene camera. And I'm going to take this camera and reposition it in my view in such a way that it's kind of focused on the escape pod and the stand. And what this will do is it'll switch this camera when this thing drops down and the player escapes in the escape pod. So I got the cutscene camera selected. I will go to game object and I'll align with view, and you can see in my camera preview, there it is. And if I hit play, we want to make sure that that camera is disabled. So I'm going to uncheck it. And I'm also going to disable the keypad UI so that we don't see that. So if I hit play, I should be able to walk around. If I walk up to the keypad display, I should now be able to enter in codes. Okay. Now we need to do what we need to do is we need to check for the logic, make sure that they're entering in the correct password. If they enter the correct password, it switches to the cutscene gets enabled. Or if they enter the wrong password, it tells them that they've entered the wrong password, and they can try again. So let's start writing that script. I'm going to open up our keypad script because this is going to be in the update function of the keypad script. And what we're going to do is after we lock and unlock the cursor here, we're going to add in a couple of conditions here. So the first condition we're going to check for, right, is going to be if the entered password is equal to the password. So entered password is equal to the password. So that would mean that they put in the correct thing, right? So actually, no, I'm wrong with that. We don't want to check to see if the entered password is equal to the password here. We want to see if it's the correct number of digits. I'm getting ahead of myself here. So what we want to do is see if entered password.length is equal to whatever the pass digits are. So that's the number of digits in the password. If that is all set, then we will check to see if it's a match. So if they've got the correct number of digits entered, we will then check to see if entered password is equal to password. Alright, so if they are a match, what we will do here is we will take the keypad display and set its text equal to correct passcode. Oops, I got caps on. And then from there, what we would do is start enabling and disabling the different items here. So I'm just going to leave this here for a correct passcode for now. And then inside of the else, what we will do is we will say, we can grab the keypad display right from the previous statement and change this to incorrect passcode. And then what we'll do is we'll set entered PW equal to a blank string. Simple as that. Alright, so let's save this. And let's head over to Unity. I just want to check this out. Our password is 54321. Alright, so I move around, I get to the passcode, the keypad. I hit escape. Whoops. 4321, correct passcode. Alright. And it doesn't reset because what we're going to end up doing is our logic is going to be a little bit different. So I'm inside of the keypad again. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, incorrect passcode. So we're giving the player the right messages. Now what we could do is set up our cutscene for when we want to switch this over. Okay, so what we're gonna do is open up our code, and inside of this if statement, we're gonna make the cutscene stuff happen. And you could have animations here. You can have all sorts of stuff. Sound happen. You know, you want to make it as entertaining as possible for the player. I'm just going to have a simple, we're going to destroy the stand and the escape pod is going to fall through the floor. So as an example of where you would start that cutscene. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to need a couple of variables for the cameras. So let's go back to the top of our script, and we're going to create a public camera. And this camera, the first one we'll call cutscene camera. And the next one is going to be the player camera. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is enable and disable the player camera, enable the cutscenes camera. Alright, so back down here where we make the stuff happen, the first thing we will do is take the player camera, and we'll set dot enabled equal to false. And then from there, what we will do is we'll take cutscene camera, dot enabled, and set it equal to true. We will then destroy the escape pod stand. So destroy escape pod stand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the box collider of the escape pod and set it to false. So what we'll do is we'll do escape pod dot get component, and I'm going to grab its box collider that's holding it on there. And we're going to say dot enabled, set that equal to false. And then last but not least, we will take the UI and shut that off. So this dot game object dot set active will be false. Alright, and I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm pretty sure that's everything we need. So we're taking the player camera, disabling it, taking the cutscene camera, enabling it, destroying the escape pod stands, the thing falls through, and shutting off the box collider on the escape pod just so that it falls through the floor and disappears. Alright, so this is all saved. I've got Keypad UI selected here. We're going to want to drag in the cutscene camera, and we're also going to want to drag in the main camera that is on the player controller. And if we hit play, we should be able to walk up to the keypad here. If I hit escape and enter the correct passcode, oh, it did not switch the camera to the other one. But you can see everything else worked. Let's see here. And the reason that is happening is because we have the entire game object selected on the cutscene camera. So I'm going to check off the enable box here and then disable the camera component here. I'm also not going to need the audio listener, so I'm going to remove the component for the audio listener on this. And this should do the job now. So if I hit play and move up to the trigger, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can see that the cutscene changes, and that's it. Pretty neat, right? Do it one more time. Walk up to the trigger, hit escape. Now you might have to escape twice. Occasionally it's making me hit it twice to be able to enable the mouse. Something keeps locking it, so it might be something in the character control that keeps locking it. But that's how you're able to switch between the two cameras and have some sort of rewarding cutscene for completing the game or completing the level or something like that available. And there are other options out there. You could use Cinemachine to do this as well, to be able to transition between different virtual cameras. You just have to put in the logic for that code. Alright, so make sure you save your scene. And I think this is pretty much all the things that we need component-wise to start fleshing out the entire game. There'll be things that we need to add along the way, but most of the mechanics are there now. And hopefully through all of the stuff that we've done, you can start coming up with ways of creating your own mechanics using the stuff that's in your toolbox from these lessons. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video.